Hello, hello, what's going on? Yes, back in this thing. So we've got a lot of interesting topics today, including Rihanna. She's freaking out over ASAP Rocky, Jonathan Major stuff, Puff Daddy stuff. Let's do it.
It's showtime.
All right, yes. So we were all told that ASAP Rocky, he was a good dude. He was a good dude. He's been mischaracterized in the past. He's good for Rihanna. He's a good person. And we're not here to hate. It's just that what people were saying when they were kind of like laying out his backstory, why he's better than the previous people Rihanna's been with, it's like, okay, cool. Rihanna picked a good person. They're good together. All is well in the neighborhood. Well, right now he's facing a prison sentence for pow-powing another rapper. Yeah, pow-powing. And with pow-powing another rapper, it's possible that Rihanna, his resources, her resources, can hire good lawyers. They can possibly reduce the 9-year prison sentence, or even have him on probation, or maybe have him avoided altogether. There are those possibilities when it comes to funds and resources. But she's still freaking out, unfortunately. She's still freaking out. And with her freaking out, as far as what the media is reporting, I believe that she's freaking out because there's enough evidence where all the resources in the world are not going to save him.
Game over.
And so if that's the case, she needs to make a decision. Is she going to stand by her 2 kids' father while he sits in a cell, or will she move on? I think if he is found guilty, she's going to move on, still have the kids come visit him. But by the time he gets out, she's going to be a whole different person. So ASAP Rocky and Rihanna, they started dating in 2020. That's right after she broke up with the multi-billionaire in like January of 2020. So the relationship where she was with the billionaire, people were expecting her to actually make that work and have that transition into something. But it turns out that unfortunately Rihanna was just a plaything for the guy. Unfortunately. Yeah, just a plaything. And, that happens because the way that she is and the way his exes are, she's a completely different person than who the multi-millionaire was dating. And it's just, I think that ASAP Rocky, she's just more comfortable with him. She sees herself more along the lines of, this is somebody that I can get with, especially since most of the relationships she's been in, including with Chris Brown when he had the domestic violence stuff against her, most of the men that she's been with, including Drake, they've been guys who want to use her. They want to take from her. I think ASAP Rocky was the first person that she could be herself with, who actually allowed her to be vulnerable, and it wasn't, he wasn't trying to really use her. Well, unfortunately, when ASAP Rocky confirmed to GQ magazine, this was like 2021, that he and Rihanna were in a relationship, she had just got out of dating the Saudi businessman Hassan Jamil, and this was January 2020. So she really wanted it to work out with the Saudi businessman. It didn't work out. I think ASAP Rocky was like the cleanup man or the rebound person, and that's the reason why she somewhat lowered herself to him, in my opinion, because when you're looking at the people that Rihanna's been with, she's always been with men who were at the top of their game.
Simping activate.
And so with ASAP Rocky being kind of like the safe bet, someone that she met while she was vulnerable, gave him 2 kids. They seem to be happy, but all is not well in the neighborhood because dude allegedly he pow-powed some guy named Terrell Efron. This was November 2021. So when they got together in 2020 and they announced to the world that they were together as of summer 2021, dude, or A$AP Rocky, was basically still being himself, and that's the reason why he felt so comfortable pow-powing this guy, in my opinion. Because think about it, if you're with Rihanna, she's at the top of her game, she's like a dream come true, why would you still be on Ninja stuff, and you guys just went public with your relationship? She's got a lot of business things going on, she could help you out with your career. Why would you stoop to Ninja stuff unless that was in you the whole time? I'm just saying. And so like May 2021 is when they came forward with their relationship, and then January 31st, 2022, that's when they were expecting their first child, and Rihanna revealed that she was pregnant again. This was February 12th, 2023, during the Super Bowl halftime show, and then August 1st of this year, a couple of months later, they welcomed their second son. So for him to be facing these charges with all of the positive things that you would think that he would be happy about, seems to me that this dude had this in his system the whole time. Yeah, he had it in his system the whole time, and that's the reason why Rihanna's freaking out. Not just because of this situation, but I think that he's doing other stuff as he's gotten comfortable with her. He's doing other stuff to somewhat lash out. I think he wants attention because look at Rihanna. She's a new mother. She's giving all her time and energy to the new kids. And then she also has her career. She has her Fendi business. A lot of you all like the purses and clothes and whatnot. She, more than likely, in my opinion, is not giving A$AP Rocky the attention that he needs. And then he's not the man of the family. He's not wearing the pants in the family. A lot of people have said that A$AP Rocky, he's more like a pet to her. She's the leader. She wears the pants in the family. She's the one that bosses him around and tells him what to do. I think he's doing this criminal stuff as a way to lash out, as a way to get attention, and he's going about it the wrong way.
Pays to win, still loses.
Yeah, so unfortunately, when I'm going to say, lower yourself, or you go from dating a dude who's a multi-millionaire Saudi businessman, you go from Drake at the top of the music industry as far as rap. Then also you got even Chris Brown, he's at the top, even though he was doing domestic violence. When you go from dating top dudes and then you lower yourself to someone who's C-level, mid-grade, if you will, they're going to feel inadequate, especially if they're a man.
Unfrickin' believable.
And you all may disagree. You all might say, no. It's possible for the woman to make more money, be more successful, and the guy will be content. We've seen this stuff all the time, and it just seems like that's just not the case. And, now she's saying that she'll stand by him 100%. She has no choice because she done gave this dude 2 kids. Right. So she done gave him 2 kids, and plus he probably knows secrets about her, so she has to stand by his side. But if he is found guilty, if she is able to, through the help of lawyers, keep him out of jail, they'll be fine. If he does go in, he may come out and it's somebody else sitting on the couch instead of him. I'm just saying.
Perfect.
All right, so moving on to the next story. Not looking so good for Puff Daddy, Dude Love, Diddy, Sean Combs. It seems like the honeycombs of the past are catching up with him. There's a dude who's talking about Puff Daddy, who people are now calling Muff Daddy. The man is claiming that Diddy drugged him and then stole the biddy. Yeah. See, when you're going to hang out with Puff Daddy, if he offers you a drink, just say no. Just say no. Don't take any drinks from him. If he's like he's buying the bar, all drinks on him, be like, sir, no thanks. We don't want no drinks from you because he's sounding like he's worse than Bill Cosby.
Bruh.
So if you're partying with him and he's talking about buying all the drinks, hey, make sure that you watch the bartender make it from start to finish because the bartender might be on it as well. So the claim is that Puffy stole this man's puffy, and just when you thought that it is possible for all of the rumors and allegations to slow down or even stop, and this was posted December 8th. That's yesterday at the making of this broadcast. You would think that a lot of stuff would stop as far as Puffy, but yeah, he's allegedly he done took someone's puffy, and this guy might be in line of people who are trying to sue him, and I wouldn't be surprised if in time prosecutors don't file charges against Puff Daddy for some criminal stuff of him taking advantage of people. So according to a popular podcast, a man reached out claiming to have a story about an alleged abusive encounter with Diddy that occurred while the man and Diddy both attended Howard University more than 30 years ago. The man, who refused to state his name, gave horrifying details of an alleged attack that took place off campus. Diddy recently paid his girlfriend Cassie $100 million to settle the lawsuit. This is according to Media Takeout. Media Takeout is saying they had the actual dollar amount of $100 million. You got to take it with a grain of salt, because when it comes to people coming out with stories, when it comes to a lot of the blogs, sometimes they may fabricate stuff, embellish stuff. They may even flat out lie. But everybody can't be lying on Diddy. Everybody can't be lying on you. And so shortly after news of the settlement broke, more alleged victims came out of the woodwork. You've seen different rappers, The Game, Fabulous, a whole bunch of other people have come out with their stories. Kevin Hart, he dropped a video people are reacting to where Kevin Hart, when he was new to the game, he went to one of Diddy's wild sex parties, and Diddy was saying the girls are going to come out, but come to find out he was trying to make Kevin into one of the girls. Right. So in Diddy's defense, he has come out and stated that he planned on fighting for his reputation. He says that he will not stand by and allow for any more money grabs. Okay? The reason why Cassie got the settlement very quickly is because she sued him as an employee. Most people who are coming out with allegations, they were employees or contractors of Diddy as well. So this is not, Cassie's not going to be the first, she won't be the last. And so there's been no evidence to support the man's claims. I mean, so many decades have passed by a lot of stories. It's only a matter of time before someone recent comes out with something, and then they have their lawsuit, criminal charges are filed, and we get more evidence that's going to be in the court of law instead of the court of public opinion. So in my opinion, based off of everything I've seen, Diddy is done. There's no way he can bounce back from this. He might as well just hang it up and start focusing on trying to keep what little money he has and like go to another country outside the U.S. or maybe even I don't know. He might need to just. It's looking like he might get to the point where he may end up having to file bankruptcy. Yeah, everybody coming for him. Yeah, he's probably going to end up like R. Kelly. Wouldn't be surprised about that. But yeah, Diddy is getting canceled in real life. And so the man claims that he got drunk and took narcotics. And while inebriated, he says Diddy and his male friends allegedly stole his puffy. The man claims that he is in the process of getting an attorney and plans to bring an action against Puffy. The man claims that after the encounter, there was blood and mud everywhere. It's pretty graphic. And this is courtesy of Tough Podcast Production.
It says here, I know this is random, but my name is blank, and I was essayed by Diddy and a friend of his on April the 15th, 1989 in DC. It has took a lot of strength for me to get to this stage of self-assurance, but I now know that I have nothing to be ashamed of. I attended Howard University the same time he was there, and I was taken advantage of after an off-campus party. I will be the first to admit that I was a bit inebriated. Diddy noticed that I was intoxicated and offered to give me a ride back to my dorm. I trusted him at the time because we were acquainted with one another because we had an economics class together. So I get in the car with him and we ended up at an apartment. He gets out and says he needed to get something and he would be right back. After a few minutes, he came back to the car and invited me in, saying he needed to sober up before driving back to campus. I said, okay, cool. I get out and go into the apartment, and there was another guy sitting on the couch. The guy introduces himself as Lorenzo, and he was drinking E&J and smoking trees. Diddy goes to the bathroom and he's in there for about 30 minutes or more. He comes out and asks me if I want a drink and I said sure. He fixed me a drink and the next thing I know is I was weak, disoriented, and my vision was blurry. I was then told to snip something out of a bottle that would make me feel better, and so I did it, and it just seemed to make me even higher. I now know that it was poppers. Then all I remember is both of them taking turns sticking their hot dogs in my mouth, and I'm paraphrasing guys, and me resisting all I could, but I was just weak and flimsy, and Lorenzo had a gun. The next thing I know, they both were taking turns trying to facilitate me, and blood and mud, alright? Paraphrasing here, what looks like mud, number 2, right, was everywhere. The pain of them facilitating me, and I'm paraphrasing again, still gives me anxiety to this day. Alright, so you guys just heard all of that, and I do want to protect the integrity of my platform and say that everything that I just conveyed to you is all alleged.
Yes, all alleged, but a lot of it's almost looking like it's impossible for Diddy to really protect himself from all this, because in the past, when he had the money, he had the power, he had the respect, he would have lawyers that would sue people and take stuff down and do gag orders and whatnot. But I think the reason why he's not able to really run defense like he has in the past is because his network, his system that's in place to protect him while he does all this debaucherous behavior, they're starting to leave him to the wolves because the money's running out, just like with R. Kelly. But a lot of these, we'll just say professional predators, super predators, if you will, a lot of them end up falling from their throne because the money runs out. And that's more than likely where people who used to protect them will now leave them to their own devices. Yep. All right, so moving on.
I can wear my natural hair. It's good for the page. If I'm going to church, it's okay. Do you get what I'm saying? If I'm going to pick maybe going to play with my niece, it's cool. If I'm in my house, it's okay. But why would I want to wear a nice ass dress, expensive dress, expensive heels? At least I'll do ponytail. At least. Like, but when you do natural hair, you're wearing a nice dress. I'm looking at the dress up. I just look at the face, and they do one thing. They do one thing when they pay me. You will not do that small makeup and say you're a minimalist. No.
Yeah, so people who are not ADOS, not FBA, okay, because they clearly sound Jamaican, they're on their podcast saying that they're against, or the reality stars against, women wearing their natural hair. Says, quote, "Your natural hair is good for church programs. Don't bring your natural hair to my event." What she really is saying is that she doesn't want you to display your blackness. You should be ashamed for who you are as far as black, and black is, excuse me, not just a race, but it's also a social construct. You could say that they want you to be more European appealing or more white. They just want you to be less black. And unfortunately, the more of these non-ADOS, non-FBA, and ADOS stands for American Descendants of the Enslaved. FBA stands for Foundation of Black Americans. Basically, people who have Negroid features that have roots that tie all the way back to antebellum slavery in America. A lot of these people get on their podcast and they speak of Black American issues and situations, and they portray their anti-blackness out there. You look at them and you're like, oh, well, they're black, so they can say what they're saying. But in actuality, they should be canceled because they're just as bad, if not worse, than non-black people. And the reason being is because it's almost like you see a quote-unquote black face saying this anti-black stuff, and people who are young and are children, they're going to hear this and they're going to internalize it, and they're going to be thinking, you know what, I don't want to wear my hair. I'm going to look more like someone else, not I'm going to wear what I want to wear because I want a different look. No, what they're portraying is anti-blackness, and that you should somewhat be ashamed of how you look. And that is definitely the wrong answer. Women should wear their hair however they want. I'm tired of people telling black women how to look. And you know, people should not tell anyone how to look. They should not tell anyone how to look. However, I think if we're promoting a standard, it should be maybe a professional standard, because when it comes to like professionalism, what makes someone a professional is usually a dress code associated with some type of employment, where they have a dress code associated with their profession. You see doctors with ties underneath their lab coat. Same thing for scientists. You see psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists. They have a professional dress. But when people are talking about don't look a certain way because your natural hair is not good here, to me, that's anti-blackness, and that's a part of the colorism issues that we already are dealing with, and on top of the anti-black stuff. And it goes on and on and on. And you can even hear by their accent they're from Jamaica. And I'm not saying anything wrong with anybody from Jamaica. It's just that a lot of people who originate outside of the U.S., they tend to have a disdain and anti-black way of looking at black culture, and that is a part of the problem. And they are no better than people who are racist and white supremacists, so on and so forth. All right, so that's pretty much the main thing as far as that. And just go into the comments. People are saying, now, why would I take any type of hair tip when your joint looks barely taped down? Wow.
Kill-tacular. Kilimanjaro. Kill-pocalypse.
The colonizers did a number on them. Exactly. Just look at her burn. Just look at her burn that wig. The ignorance. Yeah, these are the only comments so far, but they're going to get dragged. And this is from the Bad and Bougie podcast. Just even the term bad and bougie comes from the ghetto culture. And a lot of people who come from outside the U.S., they think the ghetto culture, the hood culture, that subculture of America, specifically Black Americans, is who we are as a people. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And that goes into the whole anti-blackness, that black means less than and black is bad. So yeah. All right, moving on.
Scott King or Michelle Obama.
Wow. 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 So Jonathan Majors, he's going through a court trial for domestic violence when his girlfriend, who is white, caught him cheating with Megan Good. He told her that he wanted her to act like, talking about the white woman, he wanted her to act like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama. Look, if you wanted a Coretta Scott King or a Michelle Obama, then you should get a black woman. Not someone who's bleaching her skin, okay, looking at you, Megan Good. Not someone who she's a woman of no color, but you're saying that she's black, she's one of us, she could use the N-word and come to the cookout. Not that, but someone who actually is ADOS or FBA like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama. And that's the issue. That's the problem, is dudes will get with a particular woman to have on their arm, to look good, to open up doors as a conversation piece when they go to parties and whatnot. But then those women realize that these dudes really be wanting the sisters. Yeah. It's like you thick, but you not thick enough. You look good, but you're not black enough. And usually it's the other way around. And when it comes to, unfortunately, when it comes to Megan Good, she's going to be kicked to the corner as soon as this trial is over with, if Jonathan Majors is able to get out of this. So Jonathan Majors' ex-girlfriend told the Manhattan jurors that the Creed star, that's Jonathan Majors, he struck her in the head during an altercation, and that was March of 2023. Yeah. So Grace Jabbar, that's her name, she's 30. She broke down in tears several times while describing their relationship on the witness stand. She testified that during their 2 years together, Majors could become volatile and controlling, and he would threaten suicide after fights. Wow. He hit her with that.
Your team sucks.
And so, in a September 2022 audio recording that played during his domestic assault trial, he described himself as a great man and demanded that Jabbar behave like Michelle Obama or Coretta Scott King, the wives of Barack Obama and Martin Luther King Jr. He says, quote, "I'm a great man. I do great things for my culture and for my world." Well, okay, if that's the case, why are you trying to put this on Grace Jabbar, who comes from a different culture, from a different group of people, a different everything? And what people tend to do is they'll claim to be pro-black. They'll claim to be pro-black. They're all about blackness, black this, black that. They're blackity, black, black. But then they have a whole woman of no color that they're with. That's the reason why she's looking at you like you're a fraud.
Unfrickin' believable.
Because how can you claim that you're doing great things for your culture and for the world when you may be displaying symptoms of self-hate? And don't get me wrong, I like Jonathan Majors as an actor. I liked him as Kang the Conqueror. I liked him in that Lovecraft show that he was on. He's done a lot of great work, great things. However, we have to separate the actor from what he does in his personal life. And right now, it's looking like in his personal life, he's a whole fraud out here. So Majors is heard saying in the recording, quote, "The woman that supports me needs to be a great woman." What he really is saying, let him cheat in peace. Let him do what he wants without criticism. And he wants you to be quiet and be cute. Okay? That's what he's wanting. And so people in the comment section are saying he's none of these. He's just an actor. Right. And this what's crazy is Megan Good is hand in hand with this dude, hand in hand, going to court with him, being seen with him now that he's falling from grace. And so what I think is that originally Megan Good, she had a very, very small role in the Shazam movie. She basically played an adult playing a child who was magically turned into an adult. Yeah, that it sounds goofy because it is, but Megan Good really hasn't had any good roles. She really hasn't had the career that she wanted. She was with that one preacher, and that's when she bleached her skin. That didn't work out. She dumped him and ended up getting with a quote unquote bad boy. And I think Jonathan Majors was available. She shot her shot, and she's thinking, okay, he's on the rise in Hollywood. I'll link with him. He'll help out my career, and I will bust down for him every now and then. All alleged, all alleged. And so with her linking up with him, she's thinking that he's going to help her just as long as she, gives a little bit on the side. But in actuality, when Jabari, that's the ex-girlfriend who's the center of this whole domestic violence trial, when she found out about Megan, they got into a fight. Jonathan Majors put hands and paws on her, and now Jonathan Majors needs her. He needs her to save not just his career, but his freedom. And ma'am, Megan Good, if you're listening to this, you probably aren't, but if you're listening to this and you're in court and you're hearing all this horrible stuff that Jonathan's been doing, you got to understand you're looking like a whole mammy out here.
I'm climbing up Mammy Mountain where I can save him. I'm climbing up Mammy Mountain so he can cheat on me. I don't mind if he calls me trash. He can even beat me. I'm climbing Mammy Mountain, Mammy Mountain. I'm a big mammy. He can cheat on me. He can beat me. I'm sad.
Yes, that's usually what happens when somebody is a placeholder. They're being paraded around for a purpose. Megan Good, this is not a good look for you. I know you want to revitalize your career, lengthen your career, do a bunch of stuff for your career. Go into court hand in hand with a guy with a preponderance of evidence of doing domestic violence against a woman and other women, allegedly, who do not look like you. All you're doing is you're going to be taking an L in the future. Get out now while you can, because it's not going to end well for you, because people are going to start laughing at you and looking at you like you're a joke.
Emotional damage.
Yes, and so that's all for that. All right, so while waiting to transition into the next thing, if you haven't already, please thumb up the video and subscribe, share to your social media. Take time out to do that now. I really appreciate you for coming by and supporting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, in other news, in the social media streets, our boy, come to find out, he has been seen with a Jada Pinkett Smith. I think it's a Jada Pinkett Smith stunt double. People are saying that it's an alleged side chick, a Jada Pinkett lookalike. So that's Jada right there in Will. Will's looking like he's happy. He's happy to be here. Jada's looking like, F my life. This is not who I want to be with. He's not Tupac, but she's there. She's there all smiling. And so we're going to look at the alleged side chick. All right, we're going to take a look at her. This is her right here. So she looks like Jada Pinkett Smith, but just, more curvy. Maybe she comes complete with a Tupac problem like Jada. But what I think is that I think when Will is out and about and Jada's not around and he wants to be seen as he's with Jada, I think the lookalike, the stunt double is meant for that. I don't think that he went and got a side chick that looks just like Jada Pinkett Smith. I mean, how crazy is that? How crazy would that be that Will Smith is so hung up on Jada that he would cheat on Jada with a woman who looks like Jada, but just thicker? If that is the case, which I don't think that, I think this is just a stunt double, correct me if I'm wrong, but if this is the case, Will Smith has a lot more problems than Jada running around and being on some nonsense. He's got way more problems than just simply that. And I just think that woman is just, stunt double. He has her around for taking pictures. But people are saying that she's the alleged side chick. Now, let's just lean into what Media Takeout is reporting. And, Media Takeout, you got to take it with a grain of salt. If she is his side chick, his other woman, I say more power to him, because Jada's been out here in the streets running amok. Yeah, she's been clowning, especially with that book that had the failed sales attached to it, where she's still hung up on Tupac, saying that Chris Rock tried to shoot a shot at her. She's trying to say that she's worthy to be next to Will Smith. Jada, you're looking sad out here. But if Will does have a side chick that looks like you, in my opinion, I think it means that he really still is in love with Jada, still wants her. He just knows that he can't have her. And hey, I've heard of people doing that where they cheat on the person that they're with someone who looks like them but younger, or looks like them with more muscle, or looks like them but just a couple of tweaks or whatever. So it's kind of like you cheating but not cheating, kind of, sort of, in a way. But, it's all good. And yeah, that's what people are seeing Will Smith out with. More power to him if he's moving on and he's doing it in baby steps by getting a Jada lookalike. It is what it is.
What? What the fuck?
Yep. All right, moving on.
Because I don't have 4 kids. I have 11. Yeah.
How many baby do you have?
We not finna do that. You got
How many baby daddies do you have?
You worried about me having 7 other kids? You talking to damn near 7 other bitches. What you mean? I went through your phone the other day.
So why did you go through my phone?
I'm not finna do this with you.
Hold on one second. There's a lot to unpack here. So let's take it a step at a time. So you have 11 kids.
Yeah, I have 4 biological children.
Okay.
And I have custody of my sister's 7 other kids.
Okay.
But they're mine.
Well, these realities, TV shows, you don't know what's real and what's fake. Let's unpack it as if this is a real thing. So a woman was seeing the guy on the left. She's preference, even though she's a dirty preference, okay?
Based liberal.
Hush. So he's with the preference that has the quote-unquote black scent, where it's someone who's not black, who acts stereotypically black, the ghetto parts of black people, if you will. When she went to talk to him, she's like, I got 4 kids. He's like, he's cool with that. And now she reveals that she really has 11 kids. And when he tries to ask more questions, she gets defensive and she starts attacking him. We see this type of thing where you have, we'll just say, modern people. They avoid accountability with lies. Lies help to reduce or eliminate the effects that the truth would have. And so she eased out the 11 kids thing, and now she wants to pump the brakes because if he finds out more of the truth, then the repercussions are going, she doesn't want to face the repercussions of the entire truth coming out, so she's piecemealing it. And we see people do this when they tell half-truths, lies, and misleading information. And I think that's a deal breaker, because if she was presenting you with a half-truth, I got 4 kids instead of 11, she was trying to avoid, in the beginning, the ramifications that would come with the truth coming out there. She's hoping that he will just accept it because he's emotionally invested or maybe even financially invested in her. That's what she's hoping. But it's not going to happen because a lie is a lie. And now she's on the offense, pointing out his misgivings, using shaming language, trying to convince him that what he wants to know more is not important and he should not be tripping because she went through his phone and she found this and found this and found that.
Finish her!
But in actuality, even though she may not consider herself to be a 304, she's doing 304-like behavior, and it sounds like she has a hoe mentality, unfortunately. And this type of stuff happens in the dating game, which is why you want to do your vetting, or you want to ask questions, you want to formulate a timeline, you want to do all that, because once you become emotionally invested, and for men, financially invested, or sometimes women as well, you'll find yourself being finessed, thinking that you're dealing with one person who you thought was good, but you really just ignored the red flags.
I have full custody of them. They're my kids, so
What that mean?
it's hard and it takes a toll on you. Like, a few years ago, she was arrested, and then when she went to jail, they took the kids into foster care. I didn't want them to be there. I took them in because I don't want them to have to go through what I went through growing up. I didn't have anybody there for me. Like, we're all we got. Family is all you have. And when it comes to, like, my kids or, like, keeping a man, like, them kids are always, they're always first. Like, what?
Those kids are lucky to have you, Fee, because that's no easy task. Can I ask, why did you feel like you couldn't tell Joe?
I've been through that before. The guy I was with.
I've been through that before, basically punishing this new guy for what the old guy or the guy or man who came before did. Or maybe she's lying. But based off the fact that the mediator who's in between them is sympathetic to what she's saying, and the guy on the left, he's not interrupting her, he's calm, I think she's going to come out a winner on this.